Okay, so Mr. Spector stated that men are more dramatic when there's no father in the house, correct? Okay. Um, I guess for me, from a standpoint of speaking to men, and I go to the barbershop, one of my podcasts is called Barbershop Basics, and majority of those men have had their fathers in their households, and yet they would still deem themselves as being more emotional slash egotistical, whether the father was there or not.
How much involvement did dad have?
I wasn't asking that, but. Oh, okay. Oh, yeah, okay. Oh, as we're getting scolded, we're doing good anyway.
I think as far as I think it comes to an aspect of how dad or the uncle or grandfather played in their lifestyle. Like, all right, my dad wasn't the type of father that was like, oh, come on, let's go fishing, or I'm gonna teach you how to ride your bike and stuff like that. No, that wasn't my dad. Okay. But my dad was like, hey, come with me and let's change this toilet, and let me show you how to change the piping over here. Let's go ahead and paint this room right here, or let's reconvert this living room to 3 bedrooms. You know, that's the type of dad that I had. So I know how to do all that type of stuff, but as far as that connection, like that one-on-one of a male figure with with his son, I got that from my uncles. I got that from my my grandfathers, you know.
So, going into kind of what I usually establish is that it still takes a village to raise a child.
Most definitely.
All right, y'all hear that? It still takes a village to raise a child, and I will add to that when I say it takes a community to heal one broken adult, right?
Yeah.
And that doesn't matter any age. So when it comes to fatherhood, Felicia, you're not a man, you're not a dad, you're not a brother or a son. Yet how would you say, you have sons though, how would you say the emotions of your sons are based off of your raising them?
Thank you for having me. Okay, so I truly believe that it does impact the emotional state of your sons, because I've been a single mom for 17 years, and then, I'm sorry, let me back up. I was a single mom for 7 years, then I was married for 10, and then now I've been a single mom for maybe 15 years. And it does. Having that father figure in the house does impact the son. Right now I'm dealing with my son and his anxiety, and it is something to know, and I try, and I can't provide it all, because again, I'm not a father, I'm not a son, I'm not a husband, I'm not a man, which some days I do wish that I could be that, just for the well-being of my son. But I can't, and I would never take that from a man, but in some moments I do feel like I wish I could be the father right now.
I'm gonna let Spector answer that one, because
Okay.
I guess for me, raising children, I wouldn't wish to be anybody else than I could be, because I am all that I am, right? I know what it takes, because it takes 2 to make them,
Yeah.
right? And it takes 2 to raise them and rear them and discipline them. Do I hope that the situation could be different? Yes, yet in the situation that it is, I know that the divine will take care of what I can for what it is.
Amen. And that's the truth.
Right.
I mean, I'm a single father, so I've had custody of my youngest 2 since they were 2 and 3 years old. They're 18 and 19 now. My 19-year-old, that's my baby girl, that's my middle daughter. She's in North Carolina, just bought her first car, she's in college. I raised her. My son, it's my 18-year-old. That's me. Like, he's trying to figure it out. I mean, and I get it, and I know where he's at. So, because I have an understanding of where he's at in his life right now, I have a lot of leeway for the most part with him, because I know, like, yeah, you 18, and you know, in the black community, we're so quick to put our children out, especially our young men, when they turn 18, 19, 20 years old. but they still children. That's the part that we forget, that they are still children. And yeah, you 18, but you still think like a child. And with my baby girl, she's hard. And that's because I come from that. You know, I was born and raised out of New York, so my thought process is completely different, right? You know what I mean? My thought process, like, yo, you 4, you not bleeding, you ain't nothing broke, get up, let's keep it pushing, let's go. You ain't got time to cry about it. So baby girl hard. Same thing with my oldest daughter. My oldest is 30. And to this day, guys tell her, oh, you so hard. Hey, man, she had a daddy that didn't play with her. Like, and I damn sure didn't have a dad that played with me. Exactly. So, you know, that tends to shape who that child is as they start to grow, regardless, subconsciously and consciously. So that's why I say that if you have a male in a household and they interact with them on levels like how my dad did with me, granted, he ain't say much, we ain't hang out like that, but my dad ain't play with me. Or my middle brother. The baby brother got away with everything, but the middle one, he ain't play with us. And I see the difference in all 3 of us. We got the same mother, we got the same father, but we're 3 different individuals. And I had to realize that I caught my parents. We all caught our parents in different stages of their lives. I'm the oldest, so my parents had me when they was 15 and 16 years old. So I grew up with my parents. My brother's 5 years younger than me. So he caught my parents in their 20s, late, mid-20s. So they're a whole different individual now because they had child already. They've had experiences already. So now they're doing what they're doing at that point in their life. Then we got the baby brother who's 15 years younger than me. So now you catching my parents in their 30s and their 40s. They ain't got time for you. Hey, listen, you crying about something, I'm gonna buy this for you and send you on your way. So he's the spoiled one. My dad made it yelled at him a little bit here and there, but nah, you ain't get it how me and my brother did. But the aspects of we all 3 of us are so different, and that because the impact that my dad had on us differently. You understand what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. To where my nurturing, I didn't get that from my mother. That came from my mother's mother. That came from my grandmother. Okay. My mother was still trying to figure out herself. Right. So she couldn't give me that nurturing, and I had to find grace for that. But I didn't realize coming up that small situation subconsciously shaped how I looked at women when it came to dating. And I didn't realize that. And I couldn't figure out why my ex-wife, I couldn't stand you until I realized, damn, you remind me a lot of my mother. So that's where, then I had to go and have a conversation with my mother and be like, hey, Ma, look, this is how I felt, and she told me why she did what she did. All I could do was respect it and keep it pushing. That's it. And I think that's where people don't do. We don't have these true conversations with each other. Be completely honest, yo, this is what I want, this is what I need. But at 40, 50, who got time to be playing games?
Okay, so.
You still playing games?
Oh, no, okay, so I'm trying to wrap my mind around my questions. So Spectre dropped a lot of knowledge, right? And as he was dropping it, of course, my mind is running. I want to throw out a question to everybody, and there's no real answer that I can honestly say, yet I know I've asked this to Felicia many moons ago. At what age would you say a child is mature enough to be an adult? Because, you know, we think 18, oh, they're grown, but we, like he just said, we're not kicking them out at 18 because we know they're not ready. Yet you have a lot of, in my scope of spiritual counseling, coaching, even with midwifery, I've realized that a lot of our adults are still mentally children. Like, I've seen a 50-year-old who was mentally 15. I've seen the 23s, 24s who were still 8 and 9s. So energetically, we have different ages. Yet at what point would you say, I don't know if you remember the answer you gave me or I gave you, yet at what age would you say your child is, at what age you said your child was mature? I know I said my oldest is 20. And I remember just subconsciously saying outside of myself, I was like, he won't catch it till he's 35. And then you had said your oldest wasn't going to catch it till he was 28.
And guess what? My son right now is 30 years old, and I promise you, I'm so proud of him. And if he's watching, let me tell you, he has really matured.
Okay.
Because I remember that conversation.
Right.
I do. God knows I do. And it really do depends, because at 19, I was very mature.
Okay.
I was an
Different
assistant
time.
manager.
Different
Yeah,
time, different
I
era.
know. That's right.
So is it safe to say that when you acknowledge someone as an adult, it's not based on age, it's based on mentality?
Say it one more time when he gives you the mic.
And you got to stand up.
Right,
That's
and you gotta
Napoleon in
stand
the
up.
house.
And you got to stand up. You got to protect your
And if
voice.
anybody in the audience on IG want to ask a question, let us know.
Just put it in the
Just
chat.
put it in the chat, and we'll come over and check it.
What up, IG? Oh, you can find me at Gotcha Open ENT.
Wait, we didn't even.
I am Felicia Love.
Okay, let me hear
Alright.
that question one
Here's
more
the question.
time.
Hey, can you turn her mic down, please? Felicia's. No, it's you got to turn it down. You got feedback. That's why I keep it. Is it too close?
So based on the responses that everyone just gave, is it safe to say that acknowledging when someone is an adult is more so of a mentality rather than it is an age?
Definitely.
Because you have 8-year-olds who are raising their brothers and sisters. You have 11-year-olds who are running households. So it's more of a mentality rather than it is an age.
Now, let me ask that a question after that. And I know we're going to get to the dating after 40 yet. The age of an 11-year-old raising a household, would you say that 11-year-old is one or two options? Is either going to A, want to have their own family and raise their own children, or B, be so traumatized to not ever want to relive that raising of others ever again?
So I can personally speak from that because I was the 11-year-old that
Okay.
raised my brothers and sisters, and I
Wow.
honestly did not want children.
Do
I
you have
wanted
any?
to be I do have one child. I gave my contribution to society, so everybody leave my eggs alone.
Okay.
But I did not want that environment in fear of mimicking
What you
getting
went through.
caught up in the day-to-day life
Okay.
that I would then do the same to my children.
Okay.
And then not only that, I think it just burnt me out from all the nurturing. So at a certain point, I just wanted to be nurtured. I didn't want to participate in giving nurturing.
Okay.
That's the key word, nurturing.
Mhm.
That's the one thing that men do not have. Not
What?
in that aspect. Not in that aspect. Not in that aspect. Women.
Look at her face. We
No,
can
hold
turn the
on,
camera.
Hold on. Let me say this. Men have a nurturing spirit. I'm a nurturer, but my nurturing is not of that of a woman. A woman has a nurturing spirit where, baby, come here, let me take care of you. Like, perfect example. My grandmother didn't have to say anything to me. She already knew what was going on in my household. She already knew how it impacted me. Never had to say a word to me. I go lay in my grandmother's bed. She'll sit there and just rub the top of my head. And I felt completely okay. Like, at that moment, to me, nothing else existed in the world but that moment. That's nurturing. You understand what I'm saying?
So to your
I don't
your
have
point,
that in me.
definitely
You
to
don't
your
have
point,
it?
Spectacular. My father actually,
Spectre.
I'm Spectre. Oh,
Call me Mr. Spectacular.
Mr.
Yeah.
Spectacular today.
Spectacular in the house, guys, on IG. I love it. Spectacular.
So my grandfather used to always tell me that women are nurturers and men are warriors.
There you go. I'll fight for you all day long.
And that is
I'll
basically, the
push
men
you
were the
out.
protectors. They were the ones who went out but again, I mean, this is coming from someone, my grandfather was a boxer. Like, he was a manly man.
Okay. See, but,
So-
And
that's
that's
what
what we
our
miss.
roles are supposed to be.
Yes, so,
Like, if you want to go.
and
on
even if you
roles,
look biblically, that is correct.
that's
Like,
the
for
role, yeah.
instance, when it comes to a household, like, I don't know if you guys watch social media so much, but the young lady, Drea, who had a baby by this young NBA player. And there was an image of she and the new baby and him walking across the street. Well, the details of this image was she had the baby diaper on, the baby diaper bag. The baby, she had the baby in the stroller, she was pushing the stroller, and the man was just casually walking. And there were so many comments about, boy, help the girl, boy, boy. She's the nurturer, that's her job. Now, as far as the labor, yeah, he could have helped to carry the diaper bag. But in a household, biblically, like from AD or whatever you want to say, that was the way that the culture was. That was the setting of how households were to be ran. And then as we became, more, evolved and modernized, then now women want to switch up roles and things like that, which is, if it works for you, it works for you.
I don't think women want to switch roles. I believe.
Oh, they do.
I think women want it shared, where, like you said, he's holding.
Oh, no, they do want to switch to the point where, reason why I say they do is because you have women who don't care to have a man in the home, and yet they want to have children.
Wait,
Yet they want to have, you know what I mean? Like,
But that's
But
what I'm saying.
that goes back to the mentality.
Right, that goes to the mentality and society. That's why I said it's not that I believe that women want to switch roles. I believe that society has played such an impact on our culture and our lives that it's made it so that way women switch roles. And as, for example, like let's say this DEI situation or whatever the case may be. Granted, it doesn't help any of our people. However, technically, the diversity and inclusion?
yeah, do you know, literally what, because, the media has spewed that so
Yeah, so-
nasty that majority of that.
No, so the diversity and inclusion was set up so that way those with any type of disability or were not looked at as top candidates were able to get top positions. So let's say if you was a vet, an injured vet, most times, before this bill was passed, you wasn't able to get certain jobs. You would be a greeter at Walmart. But because of this act, it allows you an opportunity to be able to show your skills and get a good paying job or whatever the case may be. Now, the same situation, let's put black women. When you had to hire a black person, they didn't say it had to be a man, but if you got a woman that you could pay less money, but enough so that way she could be suffice on her own and feel that she doesn't need a man, then guess what think is going to happen? I'm going to hire that black woman.
So all of that is still in place, by the way. What Trump did was he took away the tax credit for the DEI, for these big corporations
right.
to be able to profit off of specific areas in doing business.
Yeah.
That's all that happened. So these companies are saying, okay, well, you mean to tell me out of my 30,000 employees, because of this tax credit, if you were given an opportunity to get $9,600 per employee, wouldn't you flood your employees with nothing but DEI?
Of course.
Right.
But
So
I'm
now
not-
that
I'm
that's
not
no
saying-
longer,
I'm not saying exactly what it does. I'm saying that the aspect of I have to hire a minority, right? So if I have a choice to hire a black man or I'm gonna hire a woman, most of these companies hire black women, gave these black women these jobs, put them in different positions, so now they have an opportunity to make more money than the man. So now this woman is making more money than the man. She has a house. This man is still might be working at a trash company or whatever the case may be, or however, wherever he may be working at, but he's making less than what she's making, even though he's working hard, but she ain't gotta work that hard. She's making more money. She's able to buy this house without this man. So now to bring this man in, and he's like, oh, well, you're not paying me this, that, and the third. Oh, just let me have your sperm because I could take care of my household and this baby.
yeah,
don't
that's why I
need
said,
you.
yeah, they don't
You
care
understand
that
what
they
I'm
want to
saying?
switch roles. Yeah.
That's where it started to fall into play when they started putting more black women into these positions, into these 9-to-5 jobs. And
Well, they were doing that For the
Separation.
they were doing that for the campaign of the marketing.
What you talking about,
to
the
get-
DEI?
Yes.
He's talking about society as a
I'm
whole.
talking about
Oh,
society
you're
as a
okay.
whole.
Right.
Okay, because
Right,
I
right,
just
right.
wanted
Right.
to comment
Y'all
on the
kinda
DEI
went-
part.
Bring it back,
I
bring it
just
back.
use that
So-
as
He
the
went somewhere.
forefront
We coming
example.
on that piece.
Okay, we
Yeah,
had
yeah,
another
yeah.
question behind you.
Oh, no, it wasn't a question. I was just jumping in on the conversation.
Oh, so jump on in, sir. Jump on in.
I was going to add, so in addition to that, to what you were saying, I think it's a multi-part situation with that, and it's a time frame difference. It's like, things happened in the past for one reason, and then things happen currently for a different reason. I think racism takes different forms. I think it's a little bit different now than it was then. I don't think there's as much inherent racism as there was before. With time heals wounds. And even though there has been things that were mechanically put in place to hold us back as black people, I think some of those have come unraveled over the years, but at the same time, like with what you were saying, not only did they give the black women the jobs, they locked up a lot of our black men. So
That
it
was
was
the
a
second
two-part
part.
thing for
Exactly.
that. Now,
Exactly.
how we reacted to it, that's something that needs to be addressed that I don't think is ever really addressed. So like, yes, black women are making more than black men in a lot of areas, right? But so do a lot of other women in other races, and they're still married.
Yeah.
They're still having families. They're still taking care of their households and having a man around. Why is it that our women are the only ones who were both entertainment-wise and politically fed the notion of you don't need a man? Like, why do y'all feel like that happened?
Well,
I'm saying,
I would
from
definitely-
who is they? Who wants to be distinct? The black women or?
White people want to be extinct, so they're trying to destroy how our black culture continues to populate. I said white people wants to be the distinct. That's exactly what the Make America Great campaign is all about. A lot of the choices that Trump is making isn't specifically towards us per se. They're wanting to stop white women from killing the babies because they want to be the minority. They want to be the ones who are the majority. So what they're doing is they're coming into our black families and in our black homes, and they're putting on TV screens the sex on same-sex marriages and things like that. And then they're also having these women in these high-powered positions breaking and dismantling our black families and our black homes.
So let me
But
pull
his
it back.
question go deeper.
Right, but let me
Yeah.
pull it back here
Yeah.
because I know that can be a rabbit hole, opinionated, fact non-finding, fact distribution. How does being at the ripe, seasoned age of over 40 affect the mindset of dating in a society that we're in right now?
Okay, I'm gonna let you answer that because I'm
No, I'm
not.
gonna let you
I'm
answer
not-
that.
I'm not quite 40 yet.
It doesn't matter,
I'm
but
still
you're-
under 40. So,
Yeah, so what have you learned so far before you made it to 40?
I've learned it just depends on where you are as a person as to who you should date, and I think people have an idea of dating outside of their realm. They don't know how to assess their self or increase their self-worth to get to the level that they need to date that particular person. If you were in high school and you were the class nerd, right? Not that nerd is a bad thing, but you weren't a socialite. You were the closed off guy that just didn't talk to many people. You stayed to yourself. The odds of you getting the head cheerleader are slim to none
In high school?
in high school. Like the nerdy guy
The
who
nerd
doesn't know
nerd.
how to dress.
Okay.
He might be smart, but doesn't know how to dress, has no game,
Okay.
and possibly unattractive. His odds of dating, of the cheerleader wanting to date him, the head
Okay,
cheerleader,
okay,
the
I see
most
what you're
popular girl in school,
Right.
wanting to date him are slim to none.
So would you say that's the
as an
same?
adult.
Right.
Huh?
I was going to ask that.
As an adult
As an
now,
adult, you have a
he's
higher
probably-
chance
right, as an
Now,
to
adult,
get with
he's
her.
probably-
Now that's if he actualized his potential. If he
Well, let me-
didn't, then
If
he's
he
still.
did, then-
Right,
But see,
so-
I think when you, at our age, we move off of vibrations,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Not everybody.
Well, you would hope that everybody. I mean, even if you don't know, people still move off of vibrations.
Huh?
I
That's
mean,
not right.
even if you're not in tune, it's still a vibration that you have, regardless if you're in tune or not.
Well, no,
It's
because
still
I can
energy.
say I've met many men over 40 that will tell me, because I say everyone has intuition, they'll say, yeah, but we turn ours off. So
But
they don't,
But even if you're not in tune, that doesn't mean it's not there.
Correct.
And what I'm
Right.
saying, so what, and I say all that to say, so, if I'm 40 something years old and I'm dating, but I don't know what I don't know where my vibrational level is. But I keep meeting women that are on this level here, and they want to play games, they want to do this, and they got a whole bunch of toxic stuff going on with them. But I keep meeting the same exact women like that. After a while, I can't say it's that women. I have to look at myself. But if I don't know that I'm still vibrating on this lower level, I'm not going to know that I keep attracting lower level women. You understand what I'm saying?
right, so that kind of goes back to what he was saying.
Right,
where
that's what I'm saying. It goes back to
self-assessment, right?
self-assessment. So
Now-
if you're
now-
not aware of yourself,
True.
how would you ever know where you at?
Now, here's my thing too. I'm very much a practical person in mentality and action, right? I believe everything that you're saying. Their energy controls the universe, period. Now, it's debatable of which God or the God or your religious background as to where that energy comes from, but at the end of the day, it still exists, whether you're aware of it or not, right?
Right, indeed.
But I like to break that down. I like to say, okay, let's demystify that. You know what I'm saying? Instead of just saying that, we have good vibrations, what is that vibration that you're feeling from that person? What is that energy? Why does that energy exist? And break that down. So it might not be that, you are only paying attention to lower vibrational people. It just might be the environment that you're in, and that's where a lot of those lower vibrational people reside. So you might just need to change your environment rather than change your mindset. If you're comfortable with yourself, you're a good person, you do right by people, it's not you. You know what I'm saying? But your options might be limited.
But in a sense,
I get-
it is you though.
I was gonna say, I can't agree with that. It's
I
you.
can't agree
It's
with
always
that.
you.
It's always
Because,
you.
okay,
It's
so
you,
if
not
I'm
only
here,
is it you, it's some subconscious, it's some deep down, it's
Right.
some
some
past
deep-rooted
trauma,
inner-
it's some
because
yeah.
everything,
I'm telling
everything
you.
outside of yourself
Yes.
is self.
Itself.
Okay, so here's my question. If it's that simple to
But see, that's the thing.
understand,
Complicated.
It's
why
not simple.
why
It's
is
simple.
okay? So it's
Because you don't know what
that's why I said
But
I
then,
like to
you said, change the
demystify it. Yeah, I like to
environment, but how would
demystify
you know
things.
to change the environment?
Results. If,
But
like
you-
he
but if
said,
you got-
he kept dating or
The
kept
same
finding
pattern,
the
right.
same type of low vibrational people. And if you are a good person, you're self-aware, you're doing right, your energy's on point, then after a while, you have to realize that the problem isn't you, the problem isn't them, the problem might just be the picking, where you're picking from.
It's
'Cause
one
you could be
thing
in the-
is always going to be you. Because you have control of everything that moves around within your 360. Can't nothing move that 360 but you.
Sure.
Okay.
You understand what I'm saying?
Okay.
So if you're not fully aware of I and ourself, then how can you determine where you at if you don't even know who you are? Now, yes, I may be a good person. Yes, I may do everything right. If I found $100, I may take it back to the store. You understand? I'm not, but I'm just saying.
I will.
Right,
I
right.
won't.
I won't.
Will you take it back to the store?
I'll take it back.
Right.
I don't know where it's gonna go. It's cash. Now if it's in a wallet, if it's in a wallet and it's got an ID attached to it, I can see it. I can see that.
That I desire.
There you go.
Right.
There
Because
you
you could have
go.
been asking the
Okay.
source, I need $100.
Let me
Right.
rephrase it. If
Okay.
you see the single mother with the baby drop the $100 bill, will you give that $100 bill? to
Now,
her?
if
Oh, yeah, we
okay,
give it back. We give it
if
back.
she fine, I
you
might
said
give her
we all-
200. But
Right. But we said if you see
she
100
fine,
on
I
the
might
street,
give
buy
her
yourself.
200.
Would you
yeah.
pick it
I'll
up?
pick it up.
Of course, we're gonna help the single mothers. Yes.
Here's where I want to bring the point in as far as with what you're saying so you can understand what they're saying. So when he was saying earlier about how his father was and then how each of his siblings are all different, right? Then he also said, correct me if I'm wrong, because I may have heard it wrong, that men aren't nurturers. So subconsciously, it could be he's dating these women, nothing's happening. he can't figure out what it is, but subconsciously it could be the fact that his father was so hard on him and never sat him down and said, boy, I love you.
Hard times build strong men. Weak times breed weak men.
What?
That's the truth. That's the truth. What? Hold on. Wait. Hear me out. Hear
You
me
like
out
you ain't
now.
got a rubber ball up here to throw that.
No, wait. Hold on. Did you hear what I said though? I said hard times
You heard
breed strong
nothing.
men.
No.
Weak times,
No.
easy times breed weak men. That's
I would
the
say
truth.
flip it. Hard
That's
times
historical.
breed strong women.
It's historical. Perfect example. Why is it that most of everybody in your age group, or in our age group, technically speaking, right? Y'all fathers and y'all's grandfathers were considered strong men. A lot of them had to deal with hard times, slavery, Jim Crow, the wars. They were all involved into all of that. So a lot of them, they had to be strong to survive it. Now, today's kids, that's exactly my point. Today's kids. Most of today's kids around. Okay. He can be, I'm not saying be hard. I'm saying what he went through
I
could
would
be.
say-
No, I'm not saying your child's father because he's around our age, right?
I'm talking about the now age group. He has the balance of both. He has the nurturing side, and he also has the masculine, manly man side.
Okay, and
I think
you're
that
saying he
still
turned out
goes-
good or bad?
Oh, he's great.
Okay, that sounds about right. All I'm saying is that the kids today, the men today, the kids today, the 17-year-old, 16-year-old men today, you have one of those, right? You, sir, seem like you were around during harder times. Okay, I believe that you have taught him lessons that you learned during those hard times, which allows him to be the man that he's becoming. Correct? Okay.
But he gets to give him what he had, what he was raised
Mm-hmm.
and then add to that.
Okay. No, I see. Now that I don't feel like that is something that's right. Right. No, see, I'm not saying that though.
Well, with dating,
I'm not saying that though.
I made my point.
So let me ask you this. Did you teach your son to fight? Did you teach your son to be able to withstand being jumped by 5 kids? Okay, that's hard times.
So what? Okay.
That's all I'm saying.
So no.
If
what-
you
what-
never had been in a fight in your life, ever, how are you going to teach your son how to fight? That's my only point with what I said was hard times breed strong men, easy times breed weak men.
But that isn't okay. So I get what you're saying. I get what both y'all saying. So let's bring it back full circle because
Okay.
that can definitely go to different. Because I wholeheartedly disagree with that. I would say hard times breed strong women, easy times breed weak men, right?
Okay,
Or
so
strong men,
that's just a
strong
woman
men.
trying to make it about women because we was
No,
talking about
that's reality
men when I
because
said what I
it-
said.
We
When
are the
it-
backbone of
when it-
this
when it-
I didn't disagree
country.
with that.
But when it boils down to dating after 40, most times a woman and a man has had their experience. I'm not going to call it trauma. We've had our experiences. We don't call them mistakes because we learn from our experiences, right? Majority of us, I'll say about 65% have children already over 40 that are still dating.
Okay.
It's weird enough that some of them have not even had a child yet. And I heard that earlier today from somewhere where they said it sounds kind of awkward for a man to be over a certain age and not have a child. That's another topic. Yeah, dating over 40, I brought up this conversation because I realized that a lot of people that are dating over 40 are dating with ego and emotion over logic. Yes.
No.
that's been married or been
Mike,
Talking to Mike. Recording. Yeah, it's still on. It should be still on.
No, it's off.
It's on. Press the button.
Mike check.
testing.
There
All right,
you go.
I'm on now. So what I come to realize that is because most women been in long-term relationships, they've been married before, and at this age range where they at right now, and if you still fine and you still feel like you still got it going on in some type of way, being married is not your number one priority.
Of course not.
However,
I disagree.
Hold on,
'cause my husband, if you looking in the camera, hello. Because I want to be married.
But I mean, and I'm not saying that there's not women that want to be married, but most women that got their own and they doing this and they're in that age range, they don't want to be married because they've been through that. Most men within our age group, they're dealing with health issues, they're dealing with this, they're dealing with that. They want to be married. They played when they was younger.
Yeah, that's true too.
I think both
we
played
we
when they was
we was in
No,
our
but-
prime
but
at
most-
18, 19 years old. We was
Who,
in
as
our
men?
prime.
But majority
Women.
As men,
majority-
we were
their
in our
prime
prime at
now.
18 or 19?
Majority of the men
I don't
over
agree with that
40
at all.
are more than likely looking for a mate
companion.
a companion
companion.
to help them live
I
a
don't
wanna
wanna do that.
Right.
But
I want a
statistics actually
cougar.
show that the equation is a single woman equates to the same amount of lifespan as a married man.
Exactly.
A single woman
single
equates
woman.
to a married man.
Right.
So why would a woman want to get married when she's losing energy every day, pouring into another person,
And this man is not
shortening
pouring
her
into her?
lifespan, and she's
Exactly.
getting longer?
Exactly.
And that's simply why you have a lot of men who are choosing
Okay,
to go.
so statistics are always weird because the thing about it is you can slight statistics to fit a particular narrative. So here's my thing about that. Go ahead. Go ahead. Finish that sentence. I'm sorry.
Oh, okay. I was saying a single woman equates to the lifespan of a married man because they're saying that as single women, or I like to call them free, they're choosing to give the freedom to themselves. They're choosing to give the energy to pour back into themselves. When a man is married, more than likely, he's not the one rearing the children. He's not the one cooking. He's not the one cleaning. He's not the one doing the real labor of the day-to-day. So he's being poured into from somebody whose cup is halfway empty. So when they look at the lifespan, a single woman is equal to a married man.
Okay, so this
Think
is what I
about
mean
it before
about.
you answer
No.
that. Because,
I know exactly where you're coming from, but I know exactly why that statistic I feel like is slighted. Because
Okay.
if you take that same statistic and compare single women to women with children, for instance, now let's say we're doing everything properly and they get married before they have children. Women who have children, in fact, people in general who have children usually have a longer lifespan than people that don't. That's the same thing with grandparents also. Grandparents live longer with grandchildren than they do without.
And what is that? What's the same concept?
Oh, what
It's
I'm- what I'm-
energy.
It's the energy of the
It's
children.
energy of the children feeding
Right.
back into the mother.
Right. My thing about it is that when you're talking about what a woman gives to a man and what a man gives to a woman, I just had this whole talk with my child's mother the other day because she was having all these complaints and things like that. I was like, hey, look, you haven't paid bills in 5 years, right? Now, here's the thing. Before that, she brought up, well, you used to buy me food every day and you used to tell me this and do this for me every day. I was like, you know what? What if the roles were reversed? Just let's humor me for a minute. Let's say this was your apartment that's in your name, right? Let's say that's your car in your name. And I just happen to come along and help you pay those bills. Would you be more appreciative than you are now? She was like, yes. What's the difference? I pay all the bills currently, but she doesn't have to think about them. She doesn't have to worry about them. There's not that pressure on her. So you describe the day-to-day of taking care of the children and feeding him and so forth, but you're not describing the lack of pressure from bills, from world, from life, from danger that you get relief from with the right type of man.
Go say what you gotta say, Felicia.
Go ahead.
So for me, I appreciate you paying the bills, but you cannot compare the upbringing, the time and energy, the sacrifices that a mother puts in, or a parent, or father.
Okay, I was about to say, go ahead though.
It is no compare. You can't even measure that. Like You can't even compare it.
At what
So
point did
thank
men
you for
not?
paying the bills, sir.
Hold on, here's my thing. At what point did being a man only equate to just paying bills, though?
That's what society has set it up
Yeah.
as. A man should
Who?
already know.
You the
okay,
provider.
So as let's go back to we were all invited to conception, right? Everybody was in a room when baby was being made. Now baby's conceived, pregnancy. Obviously, dad is not aware of what mom feels between her bond, her and her baby. Baby is now born. At what point does a man think that he's less of an adult to be just as equitably responsible to take care of that child? Whether it be bills, whether it be what have you.
So humor me on this.
Okay.
Why is it that when no woman seems to want a 50-50 though? So like if that, because you're basically saying like you want a man to be responsible for half of all the stuff that you're responsible as a mother, for instance, the upbringing, the rearing, the cooking, whatever. Okay, cool. So why is it that most women, when you ask them, do you want a 50-50 relationship, they say no? When that's exactly what you're describing. You
That's
want a
not what
man
I'm
to pay half the
describing.
bills. You want him to take care of half the responsibility.
I'm saying it as a parent, as an adult, everyone should have the same equal responsibility. That's not even
50-50.
That's not. That should be 100-100 because you're a parent
Oh,
regardless. If
Percentages.
if
50 divided by 50 is
No,
1.
if
100
you're-
divided by 100 is 1. It's the
God
same
forbid-
ratio.
God forbid your child's mother passes away today. You still have to be responsible for that child 100%.
Correct.
You can't give her 200. You're going to give her 100 because you're only 100 for yourself.
Or I could just give her 50 because that's all I am. In a relationship, it's 50 and 50.
I'm talking about your daughter.
That's what I'm saying. If
right. You
the
have to-
mother's the other 50, it's the
But
same
Mom,
thing.
but
That's
she's
what I'm
saying
saying.
But
Mom is
mom,
not
let's
here
say mom
anymore.
is no longer here. She's non-existent.
Correct.
You still have to give 100% of yourself as a
100% out of 200 is what?
But that's what she's
50%.
saying.
Oh, you're
saying-
divided. Okay, so let's get into this topic. So we're playing Jeopardy today. So here's a question, because I had 4 different categories that I wanted to get into with dating over 40 because I wanted to identify the fact of, even though we've all had experiences, majority of us in dating are looking at what we're standardizing ourselves as, right? So the first, we have 4 different topics y'all can choose from. We have self-awareness and emotional intelligence. We have communication and boundaries. We have healing and growth, and modern dating challenge.